Where should I move? What should I look for in a strategic relocation situation? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. So today I figured I'd just walk around the garden and show you guys the garden while I'm talking about a totally different topic. Just so you don't have to sit there and look at my face. Maybe it's a little more interesting this way. I'm starting a series on Patreon. Check it out, links in the description below. Or find us, Asymmetrical Preparedness, on Patreon. Starting a series there talking about strategic relocation. If you're looking for prepper property, what to look for, what are the big parameters, and what all to think about, because there's a lot that goes into it, as you guys can probably know. I do have the book, Strategic Relocation by Joel Skolson or something like that, I forget. Good book. I'm not reading from the book. I'm just winging it right now. I may refer to that book sometimes in the video series. But yeah, join us on Patreon. It's $1 a month. I can actually talk frankly there. I don't have to worry about censorship and that kind of stuff. Although there's probably censorship on Patreon. I don't know. But, you know, I'm just doing the best I can. I want to be able to talk to you guys frankly. And I just can't really do that here. But I still want to be here because I still want to reach more people. I still want to empower more people. And I still want to spread the word and build more preppers out there, more preparedness-minded people, because the more people that are into preparedness and have at least a basic level of preparedness, the better off we all are. Because then there's more assets, which I like to call, you know, other preppers, and less liabilities, fewer liabilities out there. What are liabilities? Liabilities are people that are not prepared, that haven't taken the time, they haven't made the effort, and they may have no clue about a lot of things that you and I think about. As we know, there's a lot of clueless people out there that don't understand preparedness, which is just, to me, that's retarded. That's just dumb, because preparedness should just be a way of life. It's a way of life for our ancestors, and I mean, even just my grandparents always had a root cellar, always had a basement with canned goods from their garden, etc. So it's common sense. But anyway, we're talking about over on Patreon, like I mentioned, all the stuff, going into depth, going into detail about all that, and how to select properties, what to look for. And I'm not the end-all be-all, but I think I have some good things to talk about there. So like I said, join us on Patreon, but I'm going to cover a little bit here now also. The top things that I look for, or that I would look for. I have looked in the past because we've thought about moving, because as you guys probably know, Washington State isn't really conducive to people like me and maybe you. So it is what it is. You guys know it. I think you understand what I'm getting at. But so what are my parameters, my top parameters? Which, like I said, we go into detail on in the Patreon video series. Details, the big things I look for are, number one, low population density. And I explain why low, not no, in the Patreon series. I also look at water, the availability of water. That's very important. Number three, the ability to grow food and or raise animals. That was number three. Number four is defensibility. How easy is it to defend that property? With the caveat of most properties, most houses are not really going to be that defensible. Honestly, seriously, we got to think about that. But it's got to be defensible to a point, because we got to have some ability to defend what we have. Then the last thing would be surrounded by like-minded people, which I can't really talk about here because that goes into other stuff, you know, topics that we get shut down here on YouTube for talking about. That's why I like Patreon. It's $1 a month. Come on, guys. I mean, we can actually be frank with each other. So being around like-minded people is very important. And you know that gets into the whole thing about left and right and stuff. You know, you get what I'm talking about. But yeah, those are my top parameters. So going into a little more detail, I'd like to go into a little more detail here on, let me go into a little more detail on number one. Number one being what? Low population density. The reason why I say low, not no, is like my primary bug out location is extremely low population density. But there are some things that make it good still as a bug out location. Because the main reason why I'm talking about population density is you don't want a lot of threats around you. With that said, you don't want no population density because you don't want to be alone. Tribe is very important. You guys know that I talk about that all the time. I don't necessarily, I don't really go for the whole lone wolf thing. I understand some positives for it, but all in all, it's just not that reasonable. You need support, you need friends, you need tribe. So that is the main reason, tribe. Tribe is the main reason why I say low population density. So the extreme low population density of my primary bug out location, which is where we were actually going to move and live full-time off-grid, didn't happen because of my wife's medical conditions and stuff. But the only reason why that is still viable is because we've had several, multiple tribe members also buy property up there, and some of them are pretty much moving up there. With that said, also, the like-mindedness of people in that area makes it very easy to meet people, to grow tribe, and to be around people that are like-minded, which, like I said before, is very important. And I really hope you guys, I'm not here trying to make, you know, a bunch of money. I don't make much money at all from this. But I really would like to see you guys join us on Patreon. Like I said, it's $1 a month. I really go into good detail there. We have hundreds and hundreds of videos there, exclusive content, and it's just a much better option. I wish if Patreon was free and a free speech platform, I'd be pushing it even more, because, you know, then it's free. Then I don't feel like, okay, you guys got to spend money, which does help us out, help us support, you know, do the things we need to do, and do the things that make good videos. So that's important. But I don't want to dwell on that too much. The tribe aspect is very important. So analyze the area you're going. Look at a lot of different factors. Like I said, we go into detail on them on Patreon. But there are a lot of factors. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling. I'm getting to another point here that are very important. I'll kind of skirt them really quickly. The other topics that would also be very important to see in a good location would be the availability of water, the availability to, like I said, grow and produce food, because that's very important. And water goes along right with that. Also, the defensibility, with the caveat and the understanding that most properties are not that defensible anyway, and being around like-minded people. So that's kind of the rundown. Like I said, I'm going into detail a lot more on Patreon. Please join us there. I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope that you are prepping. I hope that you are continuing to improve your situation, because I really want you guys to. Assets versus liabilities. The more I can help you guys, it may pay off for me in the future, but that's not really why I do it anyway. But I'll send you guys off with a goodbye from Gunner. I love you guys. I care about you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.